Why am I a reporter? I decided that let me start that part over. I'm a reporter because it gives me a ticket to witness one of the greatest events in the world, and that's, if it's on the news side, it's the unfolding of world history. If it's on the sports side, it's the moments that make the game. Being there for it, experiencing them, hearing the fans shout, seeing the players rejoice in celebration. If you were there to experience it, it's a great thing. I mean, yeah, if you're a fan and you're there, that's one thing, but to be able to have that story in mind, have the camera rolling on it, and be able to retell the story a short time later about how exciting it was for someone, that's tremendous. And, you know, to be able to hear the story from the people who tell it, whether it's government officials, whether it's people at the scene of a murder, is a unique experience, because it means that you as the reporter get to, you know, tell the story to those who weren't there in a mass communication, you know, electronic medium. And, you know, to be able to have that power, it really is something special. Probably back as far as the late 80s when I first started getting into sports as a kid. And I always admired what the announcers did, and I thought, you know, that could be me someday. And then years later, you know, ESPN was of course already around at that time, but then later they came out with networks like ESPN News, and of course MSG has always done news features like that. I figured, okay, well, news, storytelling, sports, it's all coming together as one, you know, mega interest under this big blanket that I'd like to do professionally someday. And so I'd say sports reporting for a major network in the Northeast is where I'd like to end up. Most people who grow up in California think it's the center of the universe. You think the sunshine, the beach, all that stuff, but it's just not my scene. And I mean, I actually grew up there. I was born in South Pasadena, lived in both Orange County, San Diego, and then being in Mercer County per se puts you relatively an hour away from everything. The shore, the mountains, New York, Philly, North Jersey. I've got a number of friends in North Jersey and New York, so I see them when I can, and I do have a life outside of TV. As much as domineering a schedule as TV and news and sports can place on you, there is time for me. I just enjoy myself more here. I think that it's more my pace, and it's just a better fit, all in all.
Greetings, loved ones. Well, it'll be interesting. I'm not sure about Hillsborough's team. I mean, obviously they're in the postseason, so they're not going to be a cakewalk, but Steinert's girls have only lost one game that I've shot, and it was the MCT final, and they were playing Pennington, who's very, very good. So, I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say Steinert will probably win this one here.
Here, Mark, don't be
I know.
this time. Here,
like
let me just help you out here. Why don't you climb up?
We don't want to watch you fall.
We already watched you break your butt the one time. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mercer County is so interesting because we have this station here, which it's the publicity machine, which can build a lot of these student athletes into the supermen and superwomen that they can become. And so there have been a lot of professional athletes, well, kids from this area that have ended up in the pros. And if it was because of something that I did or we did for WZBN that alerted people to it, that would make me feel great, because it would mean that, you know, I would have had somewhat of a hand in their success. It doesn't faze me who wins or loses. I just feel at home with the Steinert community because the bleacher creatures always cheer my name, and you know, the players are all really talented players. A lot of them Facebook friended me out of the blue, and it's just good to be here. I mean, I secretly hope that they win games like this, playoff games, but if they don't, well, then they don't. That's just sports.
Yes, great job.
Oh, what's up, dudes? How you guys doing?
Brandon's here.
Having a good day off?
No, it's too cold.
That's true. Hey, you guys!
Yeah, fuck that! Yeah!
I feel good because it means that all this hard work I do, you know, people see it, and that's why it's cool. I mean, if I was behind the scenes and I worked as hard as I do, there would be very little payoff for me. But the fact that I am on air and that seems like everybody at Steinert watches their stuff, and they know who I am, it makes me feel great. Despite the cutthroat pay and despite the long hours and the grueling work, I mean, I am the man on the evening news in the capital city of one of the strongest states in our nation. And my life, honestly, is the most manageable it's ever been. I have final say in what gets covered, and I have full editorial control over everything I put on the air because I do all of the shooting, all the editing, all the highlight voiceovers. This is honestly the best place that I've lived so far, and I want to be there for Mercer County and for their sons and daughters who are student athletes, and really be able to tell a solid sports story every day. There will be days where you'll get really stressed out, and you'll wonder, why do I work in this field, which is poorly paying as it is, but there is an element of glamour to it, and those that really do try hard will make it as far as they can. My next job doesn't have to be the cream of the crop. It can be some other step up there, and now that I've switched over from news, I definitely want to be the best that I can be on air. And so when the break comes, I'll take it. But for now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.